Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes.
May I please have a roll call?
Would, Mr. Counselor Romero, can we do roll call before the commissioners are sworn in? Is it official?
I think it's okay to do that.
All right.
I would just like to show who's present, and then we will take action after. Madam Clerk, would you go ahead and do a roll call? Madam Clerk, can you hear me?
Muted.
Yes, Arlene is taking the minutes. Arlene, are you there? Arlene, you need to *6 to unmute yourself. Okay, I'll do the roll call. Okay, Commissioner Harold Garcia,
Present.
Commissioner Max Trujillo,
Present.
Commissioner Janice Varela,
Presente.
Commissioner Kenneth Medina,
Present.
Commissioner Martin Sena,
Present.
Why don't we go ahead and do a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag
The United
United States of America and to the republic
for
for
which it stands,
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty and
justice for all.
I salute the flag
The flag of the state of New Mexico.
and as the
Be a symbol of perfect friendship amongst united cultures.
At this point, I would like the commissioners to be sworn in. Judge Rivera?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Happy New Year to all. How's everybody today?
Good
good
morning.
morning.
Happy New Year.
Madam Judge.
Happy New
Morning,
Year.
Judge.
Good morning.
Do we want to start with the commissioners or can I start with Geraldine? Commissioners first?
Let's
Let's
do the
Gerald
madam
as
first.
the clerk, because a lot of this meeting is based upon her authority.
I agree.
Let's swear in Ms. Gutierrez first then. I can't
Okay,
see
thank
her
you,
on the
Judge.
screen. I can't see her on the screen. I can only see Mr. Romero and Commissioner Trujillo.
Diego, she can't see me on the screen.
There we go. There we go. Now I can see everybody. Perfect. Okay. Ms. Gutierrez, if you can please raise your right hand to be sworn in. Just repeat after me. I, Geraldine E. Gutierrez,
I, Geraldine E. Gutierrez,
having been elected to the office of County Clerk
having been elected to the office of County Clerk
in the County of San Miguel,
in the County of San Miguel,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution and the state of New Mexico,
Constitution of the State of New Mexico,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and faithfully and impartially discharge
the duties of said office
the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Ms. Gutierrez, on your next term. as
Thank you,
council.
Judge.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge.
Congratulations, Geraldine.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Okay, why don't we go to the swearing in of the newly elected commissioners?
Okay. Newly elected commissioners, then we'll go ahead and start with Kenneth C. Medina. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Judge.
And good morning. I have the privilege of saying Mr. Medina is not just a commissioner, but he's my uncle. So I thank you, Uncle, for asking me to swear you in today. It's an honor and a privilege.
And it's an honor to meet you, Rita. Thank you.
Thank you. Ready? Raise your right hand, please. I, Kenneth C. Medina,
I, Kenneth C. Medina,
having been elected to the office of County Commissioner
having been elected to the office of County Commissioner
in the County of San Miguel,
in the County of San Miguel,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New Mexico,
the Constitution of the State of New Mexico,
and I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Uncle Kenny.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Rita.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we can go with Commissioner Martin Sena. If you could please raise your right hand, Commissioner. I, Martin Sena,
I, Martin Sena,
having been elected to the office of County Commissioner
having been elected to the office of County Commissioner
in the County of San Miguel,
in the County of San Miguel,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Mexico,
and the Constitution of the State of New Mexico,
and I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Commissioner Sena.
Congratulations, Commissioner.
Congratulations, Commissioner.
Congratulations.
All right, now we can swear in our incumbent, Ms. Janice, Commissioner Janice C. Varela. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge. Thank you so much for swearing us in this morning.
You're welcome. It's a privilege and an honor. Thank you for inviting me. All right, Commissioner Varela, if you can raise your right hand. I, Janice C. Varela,
I, Janice C. Varela,
having been elected to the office of County Commissioner
having been elected to the office of County Commissioner
in the County of San Miguel,
in the County of San Miguel,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New Mexico,
the Constitution of the State of New Mexico,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations again on your reelection, Commissioner Varela.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Congratulations.
everyone.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Commissioner,
At this point, let the record reflect that all commissioners are present and that the new commissioners or re-elected commissioners have been sworn in. So we are vested with a full quorum of elected county commissioners. What I would like to do is go and receive approval for the agenda. Do I have a motion and a second?
So move, Mr. Attorney.
Second.
And we start off with, could we have a vote on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let the record, nobody has disapproved. New business?
Can I interrupt for just a minute if I may be excused so I can let you move on with your business and your meeting today?
Oh, definitely. Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
very much for taking your holiday to
Thank you,
come
Mel.
spend time with
No
us and
problem.
swear the
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Judge.
Thank you,
You.
Judge.
Happy
Thank
New
you,
Year to
Judge
you and
Rivera. I
family.
really appreciate it. And you have a happy New Year
Thank you.
to you and your
all too.
family.
Love
Stay
you.
safe,
Thank you.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Judge.
Commissioners, the next item of the regular order of business will be election of a chairman and vice chairman of the County Board of Commissioners. Statutes of New Mexico, Section 43810, require at its first meeting of each year that the county commission select a chairman and a vice chairman. The only question I have for you is there any particular order that you would prefer? I am recommending that we choose a chairman and then we choose a vice chairman. In that order. Unless I hear disagreement, then let me open the floor for the nomination for chairman of the San Miguel County Board of County Commissioners.
Council Romero,
Yes, sir.
I nominate Harold Garcia as chairman.
Yes, sir. Noted. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations? And normally, Robert's rules require that I ask at least one more time whether or not there are any other nominations. There being no other nominations, Commissioner Garcia, let me actually have a vote on it. Even though lack of any other nominations indicates it's going to be unanimous. Let me have a roll call vote. County Clerk Gutierrez.
Mr. Attorney, before
Commissioner
we proceed,
Max Hill?
I'm sorry, hold on. Yes, Commissioner, did you have a question?
before we proceed, I accept the nomination.
Yes. Nomination made and accepted. I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, go ahead.
Commissioner Max Trujillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Kenneth Medina?
Yes.
Commissioner Janice Varela?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin Sena?
Yes.
Commissioner Harold Garcia?
Yes.
The vote is unanimous. Congratulations, Chairman Garcia.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I would like to turn the conduct of the meeting over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. Thank you for helping us coordinate this meeting, and thank you everyone for your honor in electing me as the chair. The only promise I will make is that I will do the best I can to represent the best interest of the residents of San Miguel County. Thank you. I will do my best. Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask for nominations for vice chair. Do we have any nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Janice Varela.
We have a motion to nominate Commissioner Varela. Do we have a second?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second to nominate Commissioner Varela. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Commissioner Varela, do you accept the nomination?
I accept the nomination and I will serve to the best of my ability. Thank you for your vote.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to take a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Max Trujillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Harold Garcia? Chairman Harold Garcia?
Yes.
Commissioner Kenneth Medina?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin Sena?
Yes.
Vice Chairman, Madam Vice Chairman Janice Varela?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you, Janice.
I
Thank
look
you.
forward to working with you, Commissioner Varela.
Same here. I look forward to serving our county together in 2021 and making it the best that we can make it.
Here, here.
Thank you, everyone. Next item on the agenda is adoption of the open meetings resolution for 2021. I'm going to turn the floor over to our attorney so that he can go over this resolution.
Commissioners, Chairman Garcia, the resolution before you is made pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, and it defines when our meetings are going to be held. It defines the different types of meetings, like regular, like special, like emergency. It defines the amount of notice to the public before any one of those meetings can be held. I am looking at the proposed resolution on my copy. There is no style and there is no signature page, but I think we can go ahead and vote on the resolution as printed with any amendments, and then we can always add the style of the case and the signatures of the case once staff readies that. The regular meetings normally call for a 10-day notice, and that you find on number 3 of that resolution. In order to, I'm going to propose that we make that 8 days. You as the commission have the power to determine what is reasonable notice. And the reason I'm looking at shortening that time period is because, as I've seen in government, many times issues don't become ripe or ready to be discussed until shortly before our regular meeting. And when we have a clause that limits us to changing the additions, changing the agenda, I would rather make it a little bit easier for all the commissioners, especially the newer ones, especially those of you who are talking to constituents, and maybe constituents just have an idea and they want to get it on the agenda, they want to have it addressed or discussed. And so I'm looking at reducing that portion number 3, paragraph number 3, from 10 days to 8 days, which I consider a reasonable period of time to provide notice. I'm also looking at I do not believe that the time for emergency meetings on paragraph 5 should be changed, because I think it's sufficient enough for us to act in case we have an emergency, in case we have to deal with the virus, in case there's flooding. We can never tell, but when there is an emergency, it's my impression we need to act as quickly as possible, and I think that our emergency meeting clause allows for that as it now reads. Special meetings are on number 4, and they require 72 hours notice before a meeting. They're not as important as emergency meetings, but I think they're more important than regular meetings because something special is happening that we have to move on. Oftentimes it's a budget issue that has to be turned into the Department of Finance Administration. Oftentimes it is there are documents that need to be signed by staff or approved by the commissioners to be sent in order to qualify for grants or participation in different proposals. I think paragraph number 4 pertaining to special meetings is fine and should be accepted. I did have an additional paragraph 9. And paragraph 9 is essentially saying that the chairman shall determine the agenda items after consultation with the manager and the attorney. My sense is that as chairman, he is responsive to the commissioners, and he should have the final authority to make that decision. But out of respect to the commissioners, because we always have maybe different philosophies as to different issues and when they should be heard, I also wanted to add as part of number 9, that 3 commissioners can also request an agenda change. So for me, that's a balance between the power of the chairman and his ability to discuss this with the manager and the attorney ahead of time versus the balance of, say, a majority of commissioners who would want to place something on the agenda. Are there any comments or questions about those ideas?
No, sir.
Yes, I have a question and a comment.
Commissioner Varela.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Counselor. I do have a question. When you're saying 3 commissioners requesting an item on the agenda, we just have to be careful that that doesn't constitute a rolling quorum. So I'm not sure how you envision that we would do that. And also, I would just like to add on the Open Meetings Act resolution that this is in addition to following the actual Open Meetings Act of the state, that our resolution goes above and beyond that. And I'm sure that you'll be reading that. And I did want to just make a comment on what you suggested. I do believe that our commissioners' request should be considered, but what you said about the 3 commissioners making a request, I just have a question on how we do that without violating the rolling quorum.
Commissioner Varela, I did think about that. And my thought was, rather than commissioners talking with 3 or more commissioners discussing things amongst themselves, they would work through the attorney to issue the idea that they would like something on the agenda, and the attorney would be able to place it on the agenda.
Okay.
And,
thank you.
And as far as the resolution is concerned, I guess keep in mind that this is not an ordinance, but this is a resolution and a guide for how we're going to treat our meetings. I always believe that there's a better way to skin a cat, and in terms of a new team working together with some new rules or changes, that maybe the time suggestions aren't the best. Maybe there are reasons why we have it the way it was. Maybe we don't need any further input from the commissioners because normally they work closely with the chairman. And so a resolution can be changed by a simple vote of the commissioners. And so it's meant to be a work in progress. But as our first meeting, I would like to have these ideas incorporated until we feel comfortable or uncomfortable.
Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, sir. I'd just like to add that where does our county manager come in this? Because any things we would like placed on the agenda, I think should go through him too, with our attorneys.
The idea expressed is that the chairman shall consult with the county manager and the attorney.
Okay.
And that's where I see the input.
Okay. Thank you.
The way that I'm interpreting this is the county manager will still be in charge of preparing the agenda.
Right.
But let's say, for example, For example, Commissioner Varela, and I'm going to use Commissioner Varela as an example because her requests come to my mind. For example, if Commissioner Varela wants to place the ambulance issue on the agenda, there's been numerous times when it's been shut out. And, you know, in this case, if Commissioner Varela or any other commission would want to place an item on the agenda, then the chairman would have the final authority to put that item on the agenda rather than it not being placed on the agenda. But it would have to be through consultation with the manager and the attorney. You know, there would have to be a good reason for it not to be placed on the agenda. And the good reason would have to come from the manager and the attorney. Am I correct, Mr. Attorney?
Mr. Chairman, and the way I see the consultation is I would look over a proposed agenda item to give it a reading as to whether it's legally appropriate. Is this legal, or are we infringing on people's rights or a contract? Sort of as a preventive measure for liability. But then on the other hand, there are matters on the agenda that may be in the gray area of the law. So I would expect of me to, even if I have questions about the legality, that if it's an issue that the chairman says, well, this is an issue that needs to be discussed, or maybe commissioners say, people are asking me about this. Then at the very least, we discuss it. And if I feel there's problems with it, then at the very least, I will raise the issue of legality to you. And I don't see the lawyer's role in canceling proposed items from the agenda because I think they're illegal. I think my role is to really give you a menu as to this is purely legal, this appears to be purely illegal, but maybe there's different ways to approach the purpose of placing a certain item to benefit the public or to benefit a purpose. That way it gets discussed without getting roadblocked by the attorney. I see the manager's role as one where, since he's looking at the whole picture on behalf of the county, he can tell us, well, budget-wise, in working with finance, there's no way we can afford this, even though it is a fantastic idea. I see the manager's role as saying, maybe we can't do it now exactly this way, but maybe we can do it in phases. Or I see the manager's role in coordinating, say, the employees or the workforce to say, we are already booked to the gill with projects. There is no way that we can work on this immediately. He can bring a realistic view as to whether or not we can even do this at this time and place, or maybe we need to think of a different structure. And my hope is that the chairman, in listening to this input from almost everybody, can make a better decision.
Are there any other questions regarding that matter? There's other issues on the resolution that I'd like to go over. For example, the schedule. Is everyone okay with the second Tuesday of the month at 2 o'clock, or is anyone in favor of changing that? Are there any suggestions on the calendar, on the schedule? Commissioner Sena.
With all this said about being able to have some input into the agenda.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
With all this information that we've been given as far as input to the agenda, I'm seeing that our next meeting is scheduled for January 12th. And I feel at this time that Commissioner Medina and myself didn't really have an opportunity to contribute to that agenda and be part of it. You know, we are elected officials to represent San Miguel County, but in particular, our districts. And I feel that we haven't had the opportunity to have some kind of an input as to what is going on because of the deadline to submit anything for the January 12th meeting. So I would like to see if we could have our first regular meeting on a Thursday, January 14th, perhaps in the morning, 9 o'clock or something like that.
Okay. Did everybody hear what Commissioner Sena suggested? Are there any
Yes,
questions? Are there
Mr.
any
Chairman?
questions? Yes, Madam Vice Chair, go ahead.
Yes, thank you for that. Thank you for your input, Commissioner Sena. Yes, I think we could consider that as far as for that one particular meeting, and as our council mentioned, that this is a resolution, is a document and a guide that can be changed. And as far as the regular meetings, except for with the exception of the one that's mentioned, this first meeting, I think that second Tuesday at 2 o'clock works fine for me. At some point, I may ask that be adjusted, but I like that day and that time. It's been working for me with my rest of my schedule. So with the exception of the date request by Commissioner Sena for our first meeting, that's fine to answer your question.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Is there any further discussion regarding the Open Meetings Act resolution?
Mr. Chairman, let me just make sure that the new time, that I don't have a court hearing, and you're talking about the new time being January the 14th at 2 o'clock?
No, at 9.
At 9.
9 in the morning. While Mr. Romero is looking at his schedule, are there any other questions regarding this resolution?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I
Madam
would
Chair,
request
Vice
that,
Chair.
thank you, that you or council, that somebody read the actual resolution before we take a vote on it, to read it for the public today.
Okay, can
Why
we
don't I
have,
go ahead and do that, because I have the changes written down, the proposed changes.
okay, and does it, before we go on, Councilor Romero, does your schedule allow for January the 14th at 9?
I do have a conflict, but this is more important, so if my schedule fits with your schedule.
All right. So go ahead and proceed with the reading of the resolution. And please keep in mind that this resolution is in a draft form, so there's going to be some typographical errors. So we'll have to make correction to those typographical errors.
Okay, first of all, the agenda that I have does not have a style, so I am inputting the normal resolution county commission style of the case, which has San Miguel Board of County Commissioners, which lists the commissioners, which has our emblem and shows that it is a true and correct reflection of the commission. The first paragraph reads, whereas the Board of County Commissioners for San Miguel County, thereafter referred to as the board, met in regular session at the County Commission Chambers, second floor, San Miguel County Administrative Complex. Now, we may want to modify that to reflect that we had a video session and we didn't actually in person meet at the County Commission Chambers. 500 West National, Suite 200, Las Vegas, New Mexico on January 1st and the time is stated as 2 p.m., but we actually started at 10 a.m. Let me go ahead. I think I turned off my video. Paragraph number 2, Whereas Section 10-15-1-B of the Open Meetings Act, New Mexico Statutes Annotated 1978, Sections 10-15-1 to 4, closed parentheses, states that, except as may be otherwise provided in the Constitution or the provisions of the Open Meeting Act, all meetings of a quorum of members of any board, council, commission, administrative, adjudicatory body, or other policy-making body, or other policy-making body of any state or local public agency held for the purpose of formulating public policy, discussing public business, or for the purpose of taking any action within the authority or of the delegated authority of such body, are declared to be public meetings, open to the public at all times, and, new paragraph, whereas any meeting subject to the Open Meetings Act at which the discussion or adoption of any proposed resolution, rule, regulation, or formal action occurs shall be held only after reasonable notice to the public. And whereas Section 10-15-1-D, as in David, of the Open Meetings Act requires the board to determine annually what constitutes reasonable notice of its public meeting. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the board that all regular meetings of the board shall be held on the second Tuesday of every month, beginning at 2 p.m. o'clock, or as indicated in the meeting notice, except for our next meeting, which will be held as designated by the commissioners. 2, unless otherwise specified, regular meetings shall be held each month on the second Tuesday. The agenda will be available at least 72 hours prior to the meeting from the county manager, whose office is located in Las Vegas, New Mexico. The agenda will also be posted on the county's website, www.co.sanmiguel.nm.us. 3, notice of regular meetings other than those described in paragraph 1 will be given 8 days. I'm striking 10 and replacing it with 8 in advance of the meeting date. The notice will include a copy of the agenda or information on how a copy of the agenda may be obtained. If not included in the notice, the agenda will be available at least 72 hours before the meeting and posted on the county's website at www.co.sanmiguel.nm.us. Special meetings may be called by the chairman or majority of the members upon 3 days' notice. The notice for a special meeting shall include an agenda for the meeting or information on how a copy of the agenda may be obtained. The agenda will be available at least 72 hours before a meeting and posted on the county's website at www.co.sanmiguel.nm.us. Emergency meetings, this is paragraph number 5. Emergency meetings will be called only under unforeseen circumstances that demand immediate action to protect the health, safety, and property of citizens, or to protect the public body from substantial financial loss. The board will avoid emergency meetings, or wherever possible, the board will avoid emergency meetings, or whenever possible. Emergency meetings may be called by the chairman or a majority of the members with 24-hour prior notice, unless threat of personal injury or property damage requires less notice. The notice for all emergency meetings shall include an agenda for the meeting or information on how the public may obtain a copy of the agenda. Within 10 days after taking action on the emergency matter, the county manager will notify the Attorney General's office. Paragraph number 6. For the purpose of the regular meeting described in paragraph 1 of this resolution, notice requirements are met if notice of the date, time, place, and agenda is placed in the newspapers of general circulation in the state and posted in the following locations: a conspicuous place in the offices of the San Miguel County Board of Commissioners. The board's executive office manager shall mail or fax copies of the written notice to those broadcast stations licensed by the Federal Communications Commission and newspapers of general circulation that have made a written request for notice of public meetings. Number 7, for the purpose of special meetings and emergency meetings described in paragraphs 4 and 5 above, notice requirements are met if notice of the date, time, place, and agenda is provided to newspapers of general circulation in the state and posted in a conspicuous place in the administration building of the San Miguel County Board of County Commissioners. The board's executive office manager shall mail or fax copies of the written notice to those broadcast stations licensed by the Federal Communications Commission and the newspapers of general circulation that have made written requests for notice of public meetings. Telephone notice shall also be given to those broadcast stations licensed by the Federal Communications Commission and newspapers of general circulation that have made written requests for notice of public meeting. Paragraph number 8. In addition to the information specified above, all notices shall include the following language. If you are an individual with a disability who is in need of a reader, amplifier, qualified sign language interpreter, or any other auxiliary aid or service to attend or participate in the hearing or meeting, please contact the Office of the County Manager, San Miguel County, 500 West National Avenue, Suite 201, Las Vegas, New Mexico, 87701. Phone number 505-425-9333. Fax number 505-425-7019. Paragraph 9 is the paragraph that I'm asking that you consider and insert in this resolution. And it states, the chairman shall determine the agenda items after consultation with the manager and the attorney. Period. 3 commissioners can also request an agenda item. And then we would have our regular closing listing all of your names, your positions, signature, and a date that this was taken as in our normal resolutions. Are there any questions?
Mr. Attorney,
Yes.
there's still some more information on the resolution that you haven't read. There's paragraph 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13.
Mr. Chairman, I do not have that third page in front of me. Can you go through those and we can talk about them together as we go through them?
Yes, I can. I'll read them out. So then your paragraph would be 9, and then the other paragraphs would follow. So instead of 9, it would be 10. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. The board may close a meeting to the public only if the subject matter of such discussion or action is expected from the open meeting requirements under section 10-15-I, parentheses H of the Open Meetings Act. Subparagraph A, if any meeting is closed during an open meeting, such closure shall be approved by a majority vote of a quorum of the board taken during the open meeting. The authority for the closed meeting and the subjects to be discussed shall be stated with reasonable specificity in the motion to close, and the vote of each individual member on the motion to close shall be recorded in the minutes. Only those subjects specified in the motion may be discussed in the closed meeting. Subparagraph B, if a closed meeting is conducted when the board is not an open meeting, the closed meeting shall not be held until public notice appropriate under circumstances stating the specific provision of law authorizing the closed meeting and the subjects to be discussed with reasonable specificity is given to the members and to the general public. Subparagraph C, following completion of any closed meeting, the minutes of the open meeting that was closed or the minutes of the next meeting, if the closed meeting was separately scheduled, shall state whether the matters discussed in the closed meeting were limited only to those specified in the motion or notice for closure. Subparagraph D, except as provided in section 10-15-I, parentheses H of the Open Meetings Act, any action taken as a result of discussions in a closed meeting shall be made by vote of the board in open public meeting. So then paragraph 10 would now be paragraph 11. A public body may recess and reconvene a meeting to a day subsequent to that stated in the meeting notice if, prior to recessing, the public body specifies the date, time, and place for continuation of the meeting, and immediately following the recess meeting post notice of the date, time, and place for the reconvened meeting on or near the door of the place where the original meeting was held in at least one other location appropriate to provide public notice if the continuation of the meeting, if the continuation of the meeting. The public body may discuss items as the reconvened meeting that were not on the agenda of the original meeting. So then paragraph 11 would now be paragraph 12. Any and all determinations of resolutions heretofore adopted by the board concerning public notice of its meetings as required by section 10-15-1, parentheses D of the Open Meetings Act as amended B, and the same is hereby rescinded and superseded by this resolution. Paragraph 12 will now be paragraph 13 in accordance with section 10-15-1, parentheses D. This policy shall be reviewed annually. That's all it says. And then paragraph 13 would now be paragraph 14, and it's this resolution shall be filed forthwith in the office of the San Miguel County Clerk. And then that's it. So then we're lacking for we have to take action and the signatures. That one wasn't submitted to us. So we'll have to insert that.
Mr. Chairman?
Are there any? Yes, ma'am. Madam Vice Chair?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were just going to ask if there are any questions or comments.
No, I am. Yes, feel free to ask, Madam Vice Chair.
Okay, I think we have something that's missing, and I see that we're not ready to vote on this today because it has some things that we're changing. And I'm not sure of the language, but at the beginning, when Counselor read about the location of the meeting, I think we need to add something in that resolution due to lack of global pandemic or for unforeseen circumstances, if we're not able to meet at that location, that a virtual meeting is allowed with the quorum. So I think we need to add some language similar to that. And then, so that's one comment I have. And then also for public notice and having public participation.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Commissioner.
Can everyone else hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. Okay, so I was talking about Counselor, did you hear what I was saying about adding language about when we cannot meet at that location, to add something about virtual meeting when we cannot meet in person? I don't know, we need to mention global pandemic or other circumstances. And then I was following up with another thought about the public participation. And given that we are meeting now virtually for at least the immediate future, maybe we need to consider some language on public participation. And I don't think people really know how they can do that. And maybe this is a two-step process. One may be to add some language in the Open Meetings Act resolution. And the second would be to actually educate and inform the public on how they can participate. So those are my comments that they meant that might be helpful to add into the resolution, is that type of language. And then one final thing is that, and I know that we've had this in here before, that we will have the meetings, the agenda posted, and also the minutes on our website. And we need to make sure that our staff is doing that, because I've gotten calls that they've not been there. So we just need, one thing again is enacting and adopting the act, and then also is following it. So thank you.
Madam Vice Chair, I agree with your recommendations, but my preference is to go ahead and pass this resolution today as we've discussed it. And then that way we have, to me, what's important is the shorter time period, so that the commissioners, say for example, the next meeting. Right now we have an agenda deadline of December 29th, and we would have, under the original status of this resolution, 10-day notice, which would stop you from being able to add things to the agenda or fully prepare. I think the items that you discussed can be added at a separate meeting with a new resolution, but for this point in time and all the work that has to be done in the next month or two, I would like to have the commissioners pass this resolution with the modifications that I have proposed.
Okay, so how are we, I have a question, Dave. How are we going to incorporate the changes into the resolution? Are you going to meet with the manager? Are you going to do it yourself? Because obviously there was no connection in preparing this resolution between your office and the manager's office. That's why we have the discrepancies. How are we going to be assured as a commission that the language is going to be incorporated into, and I'm asking the question of you and the county manager, if either one of you can answer the question, or both of you can answer the question. How can we be assured that the discussion that we're taking, that's taking place today, and if we're asking to act on it today, how can we be assured that that is going to be incorporated into the resolution for us to be asked to sign it?
Mr. Chairman, why don't I just make myself responsible for the resolution and the final draft?
All right. All right. Well, sounds good. That answers the question. Are there any other questions with regards to this from the commission?
I just, if we could fix, Counselor, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, if we could just fix the language, as you're concerned about the dates, I'm also concerned that the Open Meetings Act resolution covers that our virtual meetings are allowed. So if you can add just a simple sentence or two saying, if due to unforeseen circumstances such as a global pandemic, virtual meetings are acceptable. Just thought out, just something simple.
All right.
Why don't you make that as a motion as an addition to this resolution? And that way we can formalize its addition in the passage by the commissioners here.
Okay.
Okay, so one more question. So we're understanding now that the next meeting will be January the 14th at 9 a.m. And that will be incorporated into the resolution as well.
Yes, it will be.
All right. With that said, do we have a motion to approve the resolution as amended through our attorney.
I'm sorry, let me interrupt, Mr. Chairman. Maybe I just want to hear a phrase saying that we are accepting the recommendations of both the attorney and Commissioner Varela, because we talked about other resolutions or other matters and other issues, but I think those are the two most specific ones that we want to cover. And I'd like to see that in a motion to accept the proposed amendments to this resolution.
As well as the request by Commissioner Sena.
Yes.
Yes, and I do have I can make that motion with the language that we need in there, but I do have a question about Commissioner Sena's request. Does that need to be in the resolution because it's just a one exception, a one-time thing?
I don't think so.
Are you talking about the alternate date of the 14th?
Yes, yes. Do we have to mention that? Because that's just a one-time thing. I don't know if that has to be mentioned. So I'm willing to make a motion that we accept the Open Meetings Act resolution with the dates, the notice modified, suggested by our council, to allow for more time for commissioners to give input and to resolution.
You're breaking up, Commissioner Varela.
Old National in our courthouse if we are unable to do so due to unforeseen circumstances such as a global pandemic. We will be able to meet virtually as long as we are following the rules and quorum.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Varela. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Trujillo. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any other further discussion before we adjourn the meeting? I would like to give our two incoming, actually our three commissioners that just took an oath, and our clerk, if she'd like to as well. If you guys can give us a few words, do you have any special requests coming in as commissioners that maybe you want us to address, or maybe you want me as the chairman to address? Can we do that?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, Mr. Medina.
Thank you, sir. I just like to comment that I'm ready to work as a team for the betterness of San Miguel County, and not specifically my district, but for all of San Miguel County. Because and the first thing that I would like to work on would be morale for our employees, for our elected officials, where we all could be a team and get along. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Medina. Commissioner Varela, Mr. Sena, Ms. Gutierrez.
Yes, I would like to say that I look forward to working with all of you for the year 2021, and hopefully it'll be a better year than 2020 with all this pandemic and everything that we're going through. So I look forward to being a much better year with health and happiness for all of us. And I look forward to working with all of you. And Happy New Year and congratulations to everybody.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Same to you. Congratulations.
Any other comments from the newly sworn in commission? Nothing else.
Chairman,
Commissioner Varela.
Oh, I'll follow Marti. Go ahead, Commissioner Sena.
I just want to let everyone know that I'm really excited about this new endeavor, and I'm looking forward to working with you guys. I think we all have wonderful people that we're going to be able to work with and help. And I think that we're going to be able to I know that we're going to be able to move this county forward. And it's just going to be an awesome experience to be able to work with all of you all. Thank you very much. Thanks to all our supporters, our family and friends are here. It's taking time from our day-to-day meetings, and something that I think I'm looking forward to. And I know that we're going to be really, really good together.
Thank you, Commissioner Sena. Commissioner Varela.
Thank you. Bienvenidos, Commissioner Medina, Commissioner Sena, Congratulations, Geraldine. And I also look forward to working with this new team. And moving forward, I'd like to thank our manager and the staff and all of our hard workers. And Geraldine, you know, no short of miracles, you get pulling off this election without a hitch. And I just appreciate all that you do every day and the unseen work that I don't see from the rest of the county behind the scenes. I'd like to take this moment to thank everyone for all the work that everyone contributes, especially the quiet ones that we don't know about behind the scenes. So thank you all, and stay safe, everyone.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you,
Happy New
Commissioner.
Year.
Commissioner,
Mr. Hill.
Mr. Chair, I just want to welcome our new commissioners, Kenneth Medina and Martin Sena, and welcome back, Janice, and congratulate our county clerk, Geraldine Gutierrez. And I look forward to another, another good year of service, partnership and service. This is actually something that we undertake with a lot weighing on our backs, you know, to serve our county. And it's a big county, and it's a lot. There's a lot going on, and I look forward to partnering with you in that service. And I congratulate you, and I thank you for taking this thing on, because it's not for lighthearted human beings to become an elected official. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking this thing on, and I look forward to serving with you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Gracias,
Any
Max.
any other comments? Nada. With that said, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
We have a
Second.
motion by Commissioner Trujillo, a second by Commissioner Medina. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion, same sign, sorry. Motion carries. Let the record reflect that we adjourned at 11:02 a.m. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
New Year.